Thank you for listening to the Matt's Movie Reviews podcast, available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. Also, please follow Matt's Movie Reviews on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, Instagram, Twitter, and Rumble. And of course, be sure to visit mattsmoviereviews.net for the latest reviews, top 10 lists, and more. Now, onto the show.
Can people come back?
Come back from where?
From where they go when they die?
I had a sister. Her name was Alice.
What was she like?
She liked animals. She'd find wild rabbits and bring them home.
You're so cute. I love
She went missing when she was only 7.
you. I'm 7.
I don't understand what's going on.
It's clear there's something troubling Mia.
I don't want to talk about it.
She's pretending to be Alice.
I am Alice.
Please, this isn't a game.
You don't like me. You make me hide and hide.
You're a nasty little thing.
You're a good girl.
Where's Mia?
You're a good girl. You're a good girl.
Hello and welcome to the Matt's Movie Reviews podcast. I am your host, Matthew Pejkovic, and this is episode number 539. Releasing June 28 on Netflix is Run, Rabbit, Run, a psychological horror movie that stars Sarah Snook as a family doctor and single mother who must confront the ghosts of the past when her daughter begins to exhibit strange behaviour. A creepy horror mystery that features a powerhouse performance by Sarah Snook and great use of dread-induced atmosphere. Run, Rabbit, Run also marks the latest film by director Daina Reid, who I'm glad to say joins me now on the podcast. Dana, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So just doing my research based on Run, Rabbit, Run and how you came about to be a part of the film. So it's produced by Carver Films, and they've got a great pedigree of genre films behind them, Snowtown and Relic, and you work with them on the Sunshine Limited series. They bring in Hannah Kent, who's a novelist, to work on her first screenplay. And not only that, I was interested in that I was listening to an interview from her, and she said that she isn't even a big fan of horror movies, but she decided to give it a crack anyway. But I know you are a big fan of genre cinema. Is that what really spoke to you as a filmmaker, as a storyteller, taking on this material? Not only the fact that Hannah's working on it, but also that this is a genre horror movie. It is not something you necessarily have done so far in the film space as yet.
Look, as you said, I'm a big genre fan. I'm very particular about what kind of stuff I like. And one of the reasons I kind of started working overseas was because I wanted to do more of it. And Australia wasn't doing that much. That's changing now, which is really super terrific and very exciting. But, so I have been seeking out more genre-leaning because, I think that it's such a broad term of storytelling. So I have been seeking that out, and Sarah and Anna both knew that about me. And, yes, as you said, we had done Sunshine, the miniseries for SBS, and, so they put me together with Hannah, who, yes, doesn't really kind of, get into that horror space, but you read her work and there's such an incredibly specific darkness to her work. I had read Burial Rites many years ago before I met Hannah, and I loved it so much I went to Iceland. There's just such a particular way that Hannah sees her subject matter that I find, so emotional but so and visceral and just is so particular. It's only her voice. So I took great joy in introducing Hannah Kent to some of my favourite genre films, and where I saw her script taking us to So yeah, we had a lot of fun. Well, I had a lot of fun. Hannah at one point did kind of say to me, "Why did you make me watch that?" So I don't know how much fun she was having.
Well, she knows now about horror films, that's for sure. When it comes to horror films, though, my favorite horror movies, like my favorite movie of all time is The Exorcist. And I think what people get wrong about horror movies is they think about the shock value of it. What makes a great horror film, I think, is the emotional stakes, the characters. You need to have depth in the characters, otherwise, why are you investing in them in the first place? And
Absolutely.
This is what Run Rabbit Run has, right? Even though Hannah isn't, particularly horror inclined, her writing, as you said, just leans that way because the characters and the story writing's there, right?
That's absolutely true. I couldn't agree more. And I too love The Exorcist. I have issues with it about gender, but that's just another time that we can chat about that. But what I love, Let the Right One In, for example, for exactly as you say, you're using that kind of that style of storytelling really just to open up what the characters are going through. And yes, and what causes it. I mean, the great thing about The Exorcist, which also I really draw upon here, is that incredible performance. The mother not knowing what's happening to her child. I mean, The Exorcist and kind of, I've just thought of that. You brought that to my attention, that they have that as a theme. Both those films is a mother desperately trying to protect or save or work out what is happening to her child. And there's, I mean, obviously in The Exorcist, there's just no chance she's ever going to win. But but she gets there in the end. But it's obviously our story goes a different way as to who is responsible for the behaviour.
The Matt's Movie Reviews podcast is brought to you by TeePublic. TeePublic is the world's largest marketplace for independent creators to sell their work on the highest quality merchandise. With over 1.2 million designs, TeePublic is sure to have something you'll love. The Matt's Movie Reviews podcast is brought to you by Amazon. The world's leading online store, Amazon is your first stop to buy a wide range of products at competitive prices with fast delivery times. Amazon is also a world-class entertainment hub that includes Prime Video, Audible, Twitch, Amazon Music, and more. Sign up with Amazon today and experience the best in online shopping and entertainment. Please support Matt's Movie Reviews on Patreon. Get access to exclusive content, request movie reviews and top 10 lists, and help support my work. Please click on the Patreon link in the description below. Much like that film where Ellen Burstyn was so terrific in the lead, Sarah Snook in Run Rabbit Run is just fantastic. Interestingly, she came on a little later into the proceedings because Elizabeth Moss was supposed to play Sarah first. And while unfortunate that you had to replace someone like Elizabeth, how blessed are you to be able to replace one terrific actor with another terrific actor? I mean, that's just such a great thing. And you've worked with Sarah before in Secret River. We've seen her star rise over the years now. I remember seeing her for the first time in Predestination. I don't know how many years ago that was, 10, 12 years ago. And to see where she is now in the industry, both locally and overseas, has just been terrific. What was it like bringing her on to play Sarah and working with her again after such a long time? Because I think Secret River was 2014, if I was correct, around that time.
You might be right. Yes, it goes very fast, so I lose track, but I think that's about right, which is, obviously to me it doesn't feel that long, but that's obviously way too long. We're going to make sure it doesn't go that long before I get to work with her again. But yeah, as you say, it was extrememely disappointing to lose Elizabeth Moss early on when COVID hit and just threw everything in the air. But things happen for a reason, and I mean, to me, just the way we went with the production design and our and the cinematography, and just you put Sarah in the middle of all of that and in that landscape, and just what it did to the film, it was just extraordinary. We were so blessed that so one door closed, but the most amazing door opened, and Sarah Snook was standing behind that door.
Lily Latour is terrific as well as Mia, Sarah's 7-year-old daughter in the film. There are some scenes in the movie, and it's part of the promotional material as well, where Lily's character of Mia is wearing this mask. It's like a rabbit mask made out of cardboard. In any other context, it will be innocent, just a child making a thing. But here we see something different. And it's interesting to me, just thinking about the movie last night, how masks or idea of wearing like an invisible mask is like such a big kind of part of the film. Everyone seems to wear them in the movie. I don't want to give away too much as to who has the biggest mask of them all, because it's a bit of a spoiler territory. But how much was the idea of masks present? And was the idea of Mia wearing a mask like that something that was already in the screenplay? Or is that something that you like to mess around with kind of like during production, and you kind of need a little something more for Lily's character? It's like, hey, let's pop this on her and see how that works.
Look, it was definitely in the script from the outset. But it was that thing of when the mask went on and off was a really interesting thing to do within a scene, and where it would happen. So that would change in rehearsals from time to time about when she might take it off or put it on. But Hannah was, she's very, very insightful, and I always took her lead is when that mask went on and off. She really knew when that would hit. But yeah, there were other times where we adjusted it a little bit.
I don't know about you, but I think this Halloween will be a nice, efficient costume to wear. I think just have that mask on. Anyone can make it and put it on. It'll work really well. Another great thing about the movie is the score. Mark Bradshaw and Marcus Whale. Yeah. When it comes to scores in horror movies, you're looking for, that dark kind of ominous tone, but you want something kind of different as well. And I was trying to pick up what the instruments were in the film. I was thinking cello. I was thinking maybe even didgeridoo there for some moment, or some parts where kind of like really low.
It really does, but it's a double bass.
Double bass, yeah. So how did you come to that a double bass is used in that context, or that kind of droning kind of way? Because it's such a fascinating a score and how it's kind of put together for the movie.
Yeah, well, we had early chats, and I'd always said in before Mark came on with Sarah and Anna. I go, I can hear. I used to say I could hear a cello, cold piano, and the wind. And then I realised the piano soon went. It was still even a cold piano was way too warm. It just made it too safe. So that went out quite early. But then Mark really clearly kind of said, no, we want to go deeper. Let's go deeper. And that's not a cello, that's the double bass. We had used as an inspiration another piece. It's in the beginning of the film called Cello Chi, and it very much used the sound of wires, using those strings and kind of like electrical wires through the wind as a kind of reference point. And we kept that going because it was so abrasive as well, and yet beautiful.
My final question is, I know that Run Rabbit Run will be on Netflix tomorrow, 28th of June. You were blessed that we'd be able to show the film in theatres at film festivals, at Sundance and Sydney Film Festival. A horror movie screening is nothing quite like it. When you're dealing with people's emotions in regards to fear and scares and such, it's such a thing to have, because the atmosphere in the cinema can be so tense. Did you have a chance to partake in any of these screenings and see reactions to it? And if so, what type of reactions did you anticipate, or maybe not anticipate, happen on the screen that you, as a director of the film, didn't think, that hit, and I didn't think that would hit the way that it did?
Look, it was very interesting. I got to watch it twice in Sydney. I didn't get to go to Sundance, which was a shame, but it was really interesting. Like, even for me, and I've obviously seen it hundreds of times, where because there is an intensity that the cinema experience gives you, even I kind of went, this is a bit much. It's like, because you don't have a break, you can't glance away like you do with the television, or you can't get up and get a drink of water.
Yes.
But what I did love in one of the screenings is the lighter moments, which there are a couple in there early on, got good laughs. And I was really thrilled by that, because I think, I think as Australians we always deal with things with humour anyway. And I think as we go in that journey, when Sarah wakes up and Mia is at the end of the bed with the mask on, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of not at the same time. So kind of, you know, so we kind of were playing that tone either way. So yeah, to get laughs was great.
Well, for everyone out there listening, June 28, Run Rabbit Run on Netflix. I guarantee everyone's going to have a really great time with this movie because it is a film that's really absorbing and really draws you into this kind of like slow burn mystery. And as it continues, and they head to the house and all these things are happening, I think is going to really pay off dividends for a lot of people who invest in it, because I think it's a fantastic film they put together. Great performance there by Sarah Snook and yourself, Daina. Great direction here as well. And I want to thank you for your time and best of luck with the film's release tomorrow. It's I can't wait for people to see it.
Thanks very much. It was lovely to chat.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content. Also, if you would like to request a review and support my work, please join my Patreon via the link in the description below.